Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Anything Wrestling Podcast. Thank you once again for joining us. We are back here today with another special episode. Yes, this episode is as special as Goldberg finally getting a new move in his repertoire, even though most of you thought it was a botch. He got a brain buster.
Yeah. It was a clean delivery of that brain buster.
Was it, though? Nah. Anyway, we are here today to review Super ShowDown. Once again, it is not a triple threat today. Unfortunately, we are missing the commish physically. However, he will be joining us over the phone. But we do have the Shant and Dan the Man. There we go.
I am Dan the Man. I forget the exact way he delivers it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dan the Man, the advocate of today's podcast. And man, what a weird combination it is today. I think this is the first time it's been just you and I as the
second time.
Second time? We did one where he wasn't here before?
We did one at my place. Talking about the
there was
Revolution,
that one. Yeah. But this is the first one where we called him in, I believe.
Right.
Because that one we just did. So, still, twice in a lifetime.
I've heard that somewhere before, by the way.
I just can't put my 5 knuckles on it.
I can't even put my elbow on it.
Or my eyebrow. Anyway, so today's episode brought to you by petrol, I guess. Or millions and millions and millions of dollars, I'm not gonna take a shot at the Undertaker and Goldberg for being old. I don't think that was the reason that match went the way that it did, but we'll talk more about that once we get there.
Yes, we will. There's a couple things that I want to bullet point, but you were just talking about millions and millions of dollars. I get it, where the economy's not that stable at this point in time. Everybody's trying to find a job and trying to provide. And if you're looking for all the best entertainment in WWE, you can catch the WWE Network for a non-negotiable but very reasonable price of just only $9.99.
$9.99?
It's not $10.
Not what is it? $100? This isn't my part. This isn't my line.
Or $1,000.
Not $1,000 or $1 million.
But
$9.99.
You would think that after doing it for about a year now, we would have it down, and we're still like, how does this go again?
Well, we've got the 3-part one down, but when we have to fill in a gap, I think that's where we hit the speed bumps.
I think it's just reflex, every person doing their thing. But, do we want to start? Do we want to get Commish on the line?
Yeah, let's ring him up. Firefly Funhouse.
Which, by the way, was the only good thing about Raw last night.
I beg to differ.
Unless you want to consider that the 3 of us, we are all family. We are family.
Can I just take a second to say, I'm really glad that you guys are my friends, and this is a friendship that will never, never end.
Okay, You're quoting the song again. You can't keep doing that every week.
Well, WWE does, so...
Yeah, that's different. He quotes it. I'm literally repeating the R-Truth bit from last night, and he's hitting me up with the song.
But, it's... I don't know. There's no chance. No chance in hell that he's gonna just stop referencing Firefly Funhouse, so...
You get it? Like, no chance in hell, like Vince McMahon's theme song? Just like how we just referenced it right now? You get it? You got it? Did you get it?
I think he hung up.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hang up now.
And thank you for joining us for our Super Showdown review. We'll catch you next time.
The ironic thing is I put on the network on my laptop. That's what's playing right now.
What?
I can't even call it that. I'm just gonna call it Showdown.
Best in the world too?
Yeah,
sure.
I will say this. Super Showdown from 2 days ago, 3 days ago, whenever it was like a big upgrade from World Cup. I mean, let's if we're gonna be serious for a minute. You guys think so?
I forget what was on the card of Best in the World, so probably.
So this is my problem with it. You can't use the moniker that this is bigger than WrestleMania and not be bigger than WrestleMania.
Dude, this, I think, was like a thing measuring contest, because you look at them, they had pyro, they had like special entrances, they had all this stuff, like it had like WrestleMania theme written all over, and I'm like, you guys don't even do pyro for Raw and SmackDowns anymore, and yet you come here and you do pyro? Wow.
It was also...
I was going to speak.
Go ahead.
You understand that this isn't Vince McMahon's money. That this is all Saudi Arabian money that's being spent on this event.
Basically. It was even the same... It was the same color scheme as Mania 34.
Yeah, New Orleans.
Very purple-y.
Well, with all that said, we got a card to get through, so damn the man, let's do it.
All right, so we're going to jump right in with the pre-show, which I think last week you'd said, Kamish, please don't have one. But we did anyway. In the form of the... What?
Here's my thing with it. It was only an hour long.
Yeah,
And
but
that's perfect.
7 minutes of it was a wrestling match. So, I don't know. Anyway, so the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, defeated the Revival in a tag team match. Was this even for anything, or was this just a tag team match? Because are either of them champions?
No.
Well, I mean, Revival is now.
Yeah.
But
I feel like this was like, hey, we need you guys to fill in, so give us a pre-show.
well, I admittedly missed this match.
So did I.
It was okay.
All right.
Moving
on. So we open the show immediately with Socko Rollins John versus the
Everyone's favorite constable.
the Baloney Wolf, Baron Corbin, for the Universal Championship. Match goes 11 minutes. Seth Rollins picks up the what was it? Was it a disqualification win?
No, roll up.
It was a pinfall roll-up.
I think I was mixing it up with something else. But yeah, so Seth picks up the win over Baron. Baron is a grumpy Gus. And then Brock Lesnar shows up. And
On Friday?
what?
He shows up on Friday?
Friday.
On Friday.
Friday.
Why not tonight? Friday. And so he comes out and he's got his chair and he's like ready and he has the chair. Paul Heyman trips on the rope and tosses the briefcase into the ring, which apparently is a big enough distraction to allow Seth Rollins to just clobber Brock right in the Brock rocks.
Especially on that Brock Party boombox or suitcase, whatever it is now.
the Beast box. And so he hits him in the groin. He beats the shit out of him with a chair.
Very satisfying, by the way.
I did feel for Brock when he took the one chair shot to the arm.
To the shoulder.
Well,
he took like
the elbow one got me. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, Seth. But
at one point, he had his arm wedged between the briefcase and the steel chair, so that's got no give on you.
Yeah.
Beast or no beast.
And Seth just leaves. Like, the cash-in doesn't happen. So, what did you guys think?
Do you guys realize that whole thing about Brock Lesnar disrespecting the Money in the Bank briefcase made absolutely no sense?
What was the point of that story? That's my question.
Well, because they come out, they go, oh, Brock Lesnar disrespected the briefcase because he's teasing a cash-in. I'm like, well, that's what you do.
They've all teased a cash-in.
Isn't that the point?
Yep.
So what's the problem with him doing it?
I don't know. Stephanie, shut up.
I mean, isn't Brock, I don't know, Vince's boy?
Sometimes.
Yeah, so
I don't know. I think
disrespect.
I think they were just trying to continue to paint him as the heel, and it just, like we said, didn't make any logical sense given the history of the actual Money in the Bank.
Much like anything going on right now, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Except for Super Showdown, which I'm sure made billions of dollars. Probably not billions, but tons of money.
No, it made Vince tons of money that people are calling blood money, and a lot of angry superstars having to travel back to California.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like the superstars are over this. They're over the limit.
So what you're saying is they are no longer all in.
Nope, they are in fact all out.
Well, I'm gonna double or nothing on that notion.
So anyway, how do we feel about the match between Seth and Baron?
Yeah, I when I saw Baron consistently going up to the ref and going, "You need to count faster," I'm like, okay, you are teasing this so bad. To the point where I'm like, okay, we're going to pull a Triple H and Earl Hebner spot here, which then wound up becoming the victory for Seth.
That's right. Now I remember how the match ended, because that was John Cone, wasn't it?
Yes.
Like, this referee, like, I get it. He's like their modern day, or is he the senior official, or is it still Mike Chioda?
Maybe Mike, if you're putting the two together.
Yeah, but I think John Cone has a decent amount of clout backstage now, because he's kind of all over the place, and he seems to be buddies with a lot of the guys.
So the Tim White of the modern era.
Maybe Mike is now the Earl Hebner, and this guy is the Mike Chioda.
Possibly.
I'm just saying. Well, here's my point. Like, yeah, Baron's constant, like, BS with the referee during the match. It's like, come on, man. Like, just get through with the match. Everyone knows you don't want to be there. Just stop being an ass.
Yeah. I don't know if you've got it pulled up, but I believe we were all correct on that one, where we all said Seth was going to win.
Oh, I have everybody's scores and everyone's results. Yeah, no, we're all in on Seth.
Because I know the next match kind of screws us up, because we move on to the Demon King, Finn Balor.
My personal opinion, match of the night. Continue.
Versus Andrade.
See,
Whoa.
I'm sorry, that throat thing is coming back in. I gotta cleanse.
And that match actually ended up being excluding the Battle Royal, third longest match? No, second longest match.
I think Triple H and Orton was the longest match of the night. Yeah,
25. But yeah, no, I had guessed Andrade before I knew that Finn was showing up as the Demon King. As soon as I heard that, I went, "Oh, nope, my prediction's wrong." Because they're not gonna have the Demon King Finn Balor defeat the people that he's beaten and then have Andrade beat him. Because I don't think Andrade's got enough clout to him yet where he could get a Demon King win.
Right.
Here's the thing. He didn't have the clout because his woman wasn't allowed in Saudi Arabia. End of story.
Personally, great match. Between this and the Triple H and Orton match, match of the night. Very good pacing. Didn't take a really long time. Great spots between the two. I hope that WWE realizes what a great talent they have in Andrade. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, these two have good chemistry. Like they've wrestled outside of WWE as well. I think in like New Japan or what's it called? Ring of Honor, somewhere. They've met before. But the point is, I get it. Me and Dan were the only two that picked Andrade to win, as from what I'm seeing. But I would have been happy either way.
I didn't want to tell you guys I told you so, but...
Look, I already made my justification. I would have said Finn if I'd known it was the Demon King. Shut up.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Andrade take the IC title off of Finn at Stomping Ground, maybe. I do wish that I apparently haven't heard Andrade talk a bunch. I don't know what this Kermit the Frog voice thing is that he's got going on. I could have sworn I'd heard him speaking more clearly, so I don't know if maybe
they're trying to push for the he doesn't really speak English thing.
Well, when Zelina's not present, maybe don't push that.
I agree.
But, no, I'd be happy to see Andrade pick up the title soon.
Yes.
So moving forward, we go to the best in the world. Oh, did you want me to keep going?
I wanted to try this out.
The best in the world. Shane McMahon versus Roman. I almost said Roman McIntyre. Roman Reigns.
Might as well pair those two names up.
So Shane withdrew, defeats Roman Reigns. I actually did watch I saw the end of this one, and I thought it was beautiful, that ending. Let me clarify, mostly just the Claymore kick, because it was really, really fluid the way they
that's
played
always
that.
Beautiful.
I think he's perfecting how he lands that kick nowadays, because honestly, you hear the impact, you hear the smack of his boot, and it's just flawless.
The Claymore is quickly becoming an RKO.
Yeah.
Where
out of
it's
nowhere.
Just Claymore in the face, and I dig it because I've liked Drew since his original run, but I've really liked Drew since he came back.
Yes.
So you would have picked him as the chosen one back in the day as well.
I would have liked to have seen where he went. He was a smaller build back then. Now he looks like a top guy. Like, he looks like a guy that should be killing your stars. So no, I like it. I liked the ending of the match. I didn't really see much of the early part because I was speeding through so I could experience most of the matches. But no, I'm not mad with Shane going over here because it continues
what did
that.
you think of the match? Because honestly, I was just like, it's okay. It's not great.
That was pretty much my reaction. I thought Shane was probably gonna pull like a diving elbow drop announce table spot, and he didn't. I thought that this would have been the platform to do so, just to give the match a little bit more.
Well, didn't he do that during Best in the World? So maybe they didn't want to repeat that.
Did they?
I thought so.
I don't remember.
Best in the World was such a cluster.
So forgettable. But
so forgettable that we just forgot to call it World Cup.
Wow.
We changed the title already.
Well, WWE changed the title. We're going with the new one.
Oh God.
What did they change it to?
They changed it to Best in the World.
Did they?
Yeah.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
So if I change what I'm watching on the network right now, it'll say that.
Maybe. I don't want to navigate away from this tab though. Oh, whoops. But I did. I went to Lars Sullivan by accident. Whoops. I searched WWE Best in the World, and you'll never guess what came up. I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. He's from Chicago. CM Punk.
I knew
CM Punk. CM Punk.
CM Punk.
CM Puke.
16 greatest moments of the Best in the World. That's CM Punk. Hold on.
You know, when you try to erase Stevie Richards, you don't try hard enough to erase CM Punk.
Well, I think it's because they're trying really hard to get him back, so...
I thought, well, you know what, maybe they backpedaled, but I could have sworn on the Monday after Best in the World they were referring to the event as Best in the World instead of Crown Jewel. Brother.
So so good to be back in what?
The Silver Dome. The Super Dome. So anyway, moving on. Speaking of
Life
Lars...
Center.
Leaving of Jesus Christ, Lars Sullivan. I was right on this, where I predicted that it wasn't going to be a total squash, but it did end strangely. So Lars Sullivan versus Lucha House Party. It's not a long match. It's 5 minutes and 15 seconds, so it still ended pretty quickly. But You have decent offense by the three Lucha guys, each getting their ass kicked a little bit at various parts of the match. But it's not a squash. And then the match ends with all three of them kind of hitting their finishing moves or hitting some sort of big move, and then they all run away after getting disqualified.
Yeah.
And Lars just gets he no-sells it and just goes and kills them all, basically. Yes. It was very messy, very bloody. I don't know what he's doing with the corpses, but no. So he goes outside and he just beats the hell out of the three of them and leaves.
You know.
What are they trying to do with Lars is my question.
Well, I didn't watch his match from last night, but apparently they went back and did the squash match in an elimination match.
Which was a lot more satisfying to watch, by the way. I will just say this, I realized this, I'm like, why, like, again, it has Vince McMahon's, fingerprints all over it. Like, why does it feel like every person has to talk and has to get mic time and has to break that whole thing of like, oh, he's a monster? Like, what was the point of that in-ring interview? Yeah.
I don't know. Did you see Snake Jaw? See Snake Jaw?
No, but I saw the Scream thing that you were talking about.
Yeah. Ghostface Sullivan. So it was fine. It was a fine match for what it was. I don't care.
Who does?
Oh wait, hold on. Oh yeah, we all picked Lars.
But then we move on to what some people in the car might consider the second best match of the night. No, it was a good match. Randy Orton versus Triple H. Who did we predict? Because I think I said Triple H.
I think I said Randy.
No, we all said Triple H.
We all said Triple H.
Did we? Wow.
And yes. They subverted expectations like Rian Johnson with the last Star Wars movie, and went with Randy. I'm not mad about it. I kind of like the fact that even though Triple H is a legend, we're still willing to show his vulnerability.
He's still willing to put people over.
Granted, they tend to be his pals, but that's not the point.
Do I have to remind you he put over Roman Reigns a couple of years ago?
You don't think he likes Roman? He's an NXT guy.
And then he put over the other two.
Who are the other two?
Kurt Angle and...
Batista.
No, his partner.
Kurt Angle's partner?
Come on, man. Really have to bring her up?
Well, I'm just saying they're not exactly
I'm not even
pals.
there and you bring her up.
Well, because he was saying Triple H puts over his pals. I don't necessarily think she and H are pals, per se.
I don't know. But anyway, so Randy picks up the win with a decisive RKO.
Out of nowhere.
It was a good match. It was a very solid match. It's what you'd expect from these two.
One of those matches where I realized that I have to be patient with, because they started off with wrist locks and headlocks, and I'm like, can you just go to the part where you destroy each other with signature moves?
Can we just end the match is basically what he's asking. Can we just do the last chunk of the match?
Why would you want to end it so quick?
Dan?
Why would you want to end the match so quickly?
Well, again, I think it was just my patience for whatever reason. I was like, come on, let's go, let's do it. But just looking at the overall match, I'm like, you know what? This was a classic, psychologically well-built match from start to finish, and I applaud both guys.
And it only gave us a week of promo, a week of story build-up. My point of the match is that, look, this match only took a week's worth of promo and story build-up. Why? Because Triple H can do that. He spliced in a couple of, videos. They did their promo on Monday. They did their match on Friday. And by Saturday, they were okay. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it strangely enough goes to show that it doesn't take a lot to build a match. So why is it so...
it doesn't need a lot.
Yeah. So why is it so difficult to build a match well when you've got weeks and weeks to do it?
Are you watching, Vince?
Are you watching? the one segment on your show
that actually matters.
But no, good match. 10 out of 10 would watch again.
Yes, definitely.
So then from there we move on to Braun Strowman and Bobby the Almighty, Bobby Lashley.
You can't quote that anymore. The guy doesn't work there.
I mean, I think he still works there, but he's gone again.
He's okay, so from what I've heard, and by the way, you're going to be shocked when I say this.
I feel like I won't, but okay.
No, the other one will.
Okay.
Nishant.
Go ahead, hit me.
Two things. One, we all know that he hasn't been on TV because he tends to have a little bad of an attitude and he does whatever he wants.
Sounds like another person who's been off television for a while.
Yeah.
Basha Sanks?
No, God, let me get my point across. Don't ever mention her again, either.
I didn't. I said Basha Sanks.
Sank the coffee. Anyways, we all know he's not on TV. We all know he has a bad attitude, but kind of saw something that made me turn around my image of him and what I really think of him. Because he's a really big advocate on mental health awareness, if you haven't followed his Twitter account. As tiny and annoying as the little shit is, and he sounds like a dying duck, he's a pretty decent guy.
Well, anyway, I stand by my point.
God damn it.
Anyway, so let's talk about the match real quick. So, right out of the gate, Bobby Lashley gets a power slam on Braun, which I thought was interesting. Ended up not mattering.
I will say this. I kind of had this revelation in the match. I'm like, these two, actually, there were some really good spots in the match.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're trying to get on 205 Live or anything, but I don't know if you saw their match last night on Raw. They were doing flips and, frog leaps, and I'm like, oh, look at that. When you actually allow for them to just go out there and have a match as opposed to trying to put a gimmick on them, holy shit, they're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Are you watching, Vince?
No, but both of these guys they're legitimately talented guys.
Yes.
They're strong, they're fast, they know what they're doing, and
they're fast for their size, and they're very agile.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to be on 205 Live because they're closer to 410 Live, but the fact of the
405
matter,
Live coming soon on the network.
410 is twice 205. That's why I said it, Sean.
Well, see, 405 kind of has
No,
a better
anyway.
rhythm to it.
No.
405 is also a cleaning solution.
And it's also a goddamn freeway.
Exactly. So you clean house like you were on the freeway.
No.
Oh, I'm lying. The cleaning solution's 401, right?
409.
409.
Ha! Yeah.
Look, they sound the same. Anyway, it's tough on dirt, gentle on carpet. Also not the right thing. But
Trying to get sponsored by a cleaning product?
why not? It'll help us get the Instagram going, which I forgot to plug. Consequently, what's the name of it? Anything Wrestling Podcast 1 Instagram account coming soon. We might have logos. Anyway.
And there might not be a 405 Live like some of us would like there to be, but there is always a 205 Live, which you can catch on the WWE Network for a non-negotiable but very reasonable price of only $9.99.
He was doing his pitch for the network.
Yeah, but I'm not plugging 405. I'm plugging 410.
410.
405 has a better ring to it.
Find it on Friday.
Friday.
We're a mess, guys.
As
anyway,
always.
So, Braun Strowman picks up the win over Bobby Lashley. In a decent little 8-minute match. For what it is.
Yeah.
I know we talked on one of the more recent episodes when we were doing the debate topics about how I was like, I think Kevin and Sammy are kind of in the place that they should be to benefit the company more. I don't think Bobby is in the right place, but I think he's kind of the same thing where he should be in the same wheelhouse of those two, like upper mid-card.
He knows what's asked of him, but I'm sure he's just as frustrated as most of these other superstars are, and at one point he's like, all right, I guess I have to do this, guess I have to do that, but I'm at least going to give you a show.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about this match for the 8-9 minutes that it lasted.
Yeah, and I'm sure when Bobby re-signed, he came back with the hopes of maybe I'll be the WWE champion, or I'll finally get that main event title,
Or I'll finally get my chance to kick Brock Lesnar's ass.
or I'll finally get my chance to fight Brock Lesnar.
Well, I mean, he did pick up a win over Roman Reigns, and I think that's where they were supposed to go, but then they just squandered it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be upset if they gave Bobby a title reign, just because I feel like he's done his job, and he's done his job well, and I think it's one of those start and go things where you align him for that role a couple of times, and then you pull the rug out from under him.
Who does that remind me of?
But I wouldn't be upset if they gave him either a Universal or WWE Championship at some point before he leaves.
I agree.
That's just me. But now we can move on. Speaking of the WWE Championship, Kofi Kingston, with Xavier Woods, defeats Dolph Ziggler.
The Ziggity Zag Zigster.
For the WWE, well, I mean, he doesn't beat him for the WWE Championship. He beats him to retain the WWE Championship, but you get the point.
Do we?
Yeah.
I didn't totally know how to feel about the way that this match ended, because I think this was another decent match. It was a 10-minute, 15-second match with two very talented, very quick and agile superstars again. So I liked it. And then you had Dolph take the cheap shot on Xavier outside of the ring. And then Dolph comes toward the ropes while the referee's distracted. Xavier hits him with a quick, I don't want to call it an enziguri because it's not, but a quick kick to the face, which turns into a Trouble in Paradise to end the match. Nice, clean, well, not clean finish by wrestling standards, but a nice, clean ending to the match. Crisp, we'll go. Very similar to the Shane and Roman finish, really. But again, it was well executed. Got a handful of good, talented dudes here, and I liked it.
I believe on the preview, Dan, you said that you had read somewhere that they're building towards a program between Kofi, Dolph, and Kevin.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a good way that if you're bringing Dolph back, as opposed to just burying him again, you give justification as to why he lost the match.
Yeah.
Because theoretically, Kofi had help, and that's why he won the match. So.
But don't you think that makes Kofi look weak?
I'm gonna be honest.
Champion?
I'm gonna be honest. Kofi's entire title run has been weak.
Yeah, he hasn't had. He's still been putting on decent matches, but he hasn't had anything that really stood out.
Yeah.
No, so you're saying essentially that the build-up to his championship was great, and then once he gets the belt, it's been a strong letdown.
Yeah. Not that it's his fault. I just think that the booking is bad. Yeah.
And I don't think that the opponents. Well, I think the thing is they're still booking him like a member of the New Day is the problem.
And that's the problem. Yes.
They're not booking him like your WWE champion. He's still part of a group. Even when they did.
I'm a guy. I'm gonna put on a promo. I'm your WWE champion.
Yes.
I'm here.
Exactly.
Even when they were doing the KO Big O Booty-O thing, the focus was on Kevin. It wasn't on your champion. It was just like they might Xavier and Kofi might as well have been your tag team champions, and Kevin wanted those. That might as well have been what you were booking. You can't take your top title and put it in a C storyline. It just doesn't work.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sean.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, since Dolph demanded a rematch and he got it, shouldn't this be the time to slowly start prying them apart, like Kofi from the New Day? Like, hey, I got a cage match coming up. Maybe he's right. I need to do this
Well, because I mean,
kind of start the story of like, hey, I need to keep even though my critics are saying like, yeah, I'm a champion, I put on decent matches, but I'm not. But like we're saying, you're not standout. You're still the New Day.
well, I mean, when it comes to that, it's kind of like a flash in the pan deal, because I think he did that like 3 or 4 weeks ago, where he was going to have a match and he's like, Woods, you stay back here, I need to handle this on my own. So they do it, but then the next week they come back out and it's pancakes and it's twerking and it's, you know.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. You should start trying to pull the trigger now and just go with it at this point.
You need to slide Kofi back to when he, like, again, back to when he had that intensity, when he was feuding with Randy. He needs to have that mentality going forward. Now here's an idea. We got Big E coming back. What if Big E is now resentful toward Kofi because they tried to replace him with Kevin?
Yep.
And so you have Big E turn on Kofi, and that makes Xavier like, oh, which way do I go?
Yep.
And he ends up aligning with Big E, and that's how you split them off. I think that's a better program than Kevin and Dolph, because then you can kind of have that tug of war with Xavier, where Big E comes back, he's like, you know what? You think that title's worth more than us? All right, well, then I'm going to take it from you so you don't have anything left. And then Big E and Kofi feud, and Xavier's just there in the center like a parent or like a kid whose parents are getting divorced. And he doesn't really know who to side with. And you could ultimately have Xavier turn heel, and he then aligns himself with Big E, and then they could just be a heel team for a while.
I've usually been an advocate. I like that idea. I'm usually an advocate for bringing everything full circle, as I've said before. What if we dig up an oldie and you have Big E turn on Kofi and join Dolph? And it kind of becomes this thing of like, you know, hey, you know, when Dolph, you know, cashed in his Money in the Bank contract, Big E was there by his side. What if, you know, Kofi and Dolph are having a match and Big E, you know, goes, oh, the special ref is down, now I make my move.
Yeah.
Costs Kofi the title. We're back to having Dolph and Big E, and you can have Big E play like a managerial role, just be like this beast, you know, who just, you know,
throw him in a
havoc.
suit. Throw Big E into a tailored suit.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get a kick out of seeing that.
Yeah.
Because Big E is.
I'd be okay with that.
He's a big ass dude.
I'm just saying, we gotta move Kofi away from the tag team picture. Just like I said, the SmackDown after Mania, you could have had Kofi come out there and gone, look, now that I'm champion, I gotta do this on my own. And you could have Woods and Big E still, you know, be New Day, be tag team champions, and be doing their skits. But it's just, I don't know, like, everything that Kofi has been in since Mania feels like he's like the third wheel, or the second wheel and everything. He doesn't feel like the prominent guy.
Yeah. So I think that's what they need to work on. Again, it was a good match. These guys will always put on a good match. Was it a classic? Nah.
No.
But I think there's places you could go. You could go with this storyline, and I just don't know if they will. But here's hoping. But real quick, who did we all predict for the Battle Royal? Because I know we were all wrong.
Cesaro was right there. He was right there. I was so pissed off. I was pissed off.
Why were you pissed off?
Dan.
Why were you pissed off?
Because Cesaro was right there. There was like 2 people left, and I'm like, holy shit, he's going to do it. And then that little shit wins, who has no name, and I don't even know who
he's
the
got
hell
a name.
is.
His name is Mansoor.
Yeah, but who the hell is he? I
don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know, but he's apparently Saudi Arabian.
If you guys paid attention to commentary, which I'm sure you didn't, I don't know how I picked up on this, because I surely don't, whenever those two talk. Michael Cole kept saying that Mansoor is from NXT, and he's been a rookie who got moved up, and he sometimes does shows between NXT and NXT UK.
Interesting. Okay, so that's where Mansoor is from.
Here was the breakdown. Sean advocated for Cesaro.
I called
so
Miz.
Did I, but I also picked Miz or Ricochet. Dan, you picked Miz and Mark Henry.
Yeah. The Mark Henry was like I said, that was a long shot. I was like, maybe they'll throw a random legend. This guy seems like he's just doing weird shit with WWE.
You know, I didn't even catch that when I was actually watching the match, but there was no surprise element here. There were really no notable spots. It was just a cluster of bodies flying.
Yeah, it's a big ring with 51 people in it.
There was no structure. Like, even when they nailed it down to like 20 people, 10 people, there were no spots. There was nothing of interest. It was just bodies flying. That's it.
Yeah, it was a poor man's greatest Royal Rumble.
With 51 competitors, by the way.
Do you want me to mention?
No.
Wow.
Well, apparently the Authors of Pain were in there, and I didn't know that.
That's the other thing too. I'm like, wait a second, wasn't one of them injured? Oh,
yeah.
Well, I guess the booking had no plans for them, so they just kept them backstage and catering.
No, he was injured up until this last month. They just haven't booked them at all.
Exactly.
Well, it's because they don't understand what booking is. So anyway, yeah, Mansoor picks up the win in the Battle Royal over Elias. How did that play out? I don't even remember. Did he actually like chuck him, or was it a counter?
After Cesaro got eliminated, everything was a blur to me.
Oh God, no, it wasn't. You're just upset.
Consequently, also Cesaro, I hope you're feeling okay.
Yeah, that was ugly.
There's a report. He's fine. He's walking.
He still looked like he was real sore at the time, so I'm hoping that he's fine. But
here's how it ended.
Ice it up, buddy.
Here's how it ended because Sean ignored it because he was mad. Elias throws him out. The dude hangs on, comes back in and throws Elias out.
Yeah, well, I meant I couldn't remember how he actually threw him. If it was like a throw or a counter or what, but
it was a throw.
It was a fluke.
Oh God!
And so Mansoor wins. He goes out. He literally jumps into somebody's arms, and then he cuts some sort of promo in the ring, being excited. And everybody there was excited. Everybody at home was like, "Who in the shit is Mansoor?"
Yeah.
But it is what.
51 man.
Who was the 51st man?
Really?
But let's move on to the main event, the match that everybody is talking about, the match that everybody wants to talk about.
Can I say it?
Sure.
Botcha Mania.
Okay.
Well,
now
Botcha.
Was he already on the line when I said I wasn't gonna? No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't on the line.
So I avoided taking a shot at this match in the intro because I'm not gonna put the fault on either of these guys.
Yeah. I have a couple bullet points, but let's introduce the match and I'll say my piece.
So you got the Undertaker versus Goldberg in a once in a lifetime match.
Only in this lifetime.
For the first time ever in Saudi Arabia of all places, and Undertaker goes over after a choke slam.
Choke slam, barely,
because he didn't want to drop Goldberg on his already injured head again.
Okay, can I just make a couple bullet points? Number 1, hitting his head on the door right before he came out. I picked it out. He had like a little dot on his forehead, and I'm like, okay, they told you to stop doing that, and you still haven't stopped. So there's that. So there's the bumping of the head on the door. Then there was him crashing into, I think it was first the tombstone, which his head actually made contact with the ring.
No, it was after.
Was it after?
He hit the ring post first.
So it was headbutt on the door, actually hitting the ring post, and then actually taking a real-life tombstone pile driver, landing on his head. So for those of you saying, oh, it's just them being old, there's a little bit more to it than that.
I didn't know he did the door headbutt thing, but I don't think that really played much into it, because I think that's just a thing he does. But the second he hit that ring post, because I had already read about it, I had already read that before I got to watch the match, where it was Goldberg says he knocked himself out during the match. I watched him hit the ring post and I went, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because it was a solid impact. And then he turns around and he's just blood.
Yeah.
And he was shook coming out of that. When Undertaker picked him up for the tombstone, I watched it, and Goldberg didn't I don't know if you're really supposed to tuck your head during a tombstone, but he was just kind of flimsy.
Yeah.
And so if he actually hit his head during the tombstone, that I'm not going to put blame on Goldberg for screwing it up because he was probably not totally there.
Yeah.
But was it dangerous to be in that position? Yes.
Yeah.
But then you proceed to watch him almost drop the Undertaker on his head because he's fucked up and he can't lift him up for the jackhammer. And then the attempt at doing the tombstone spot, and he just collapses.
And was barely able to jump for that chokeslam, just barely.
Yeah. So between being probably concussed, I don't remember if it's come out officially where it says he has a concussion, but probably being concussed and probably being a little gassed because of that, I think that's why the match went the way that it did. And
you saw Undertaker was pissed afterwards. Like, he just... Sorry, Kamish, you can hop in here in a second. I read a thing where he liked somebody's post about stop bringing these guys back, la da da. I don't think that the Undertaker thinks he's past his... He wouldn't do this if he thought he was, like, past his prime. Or, like, unable to go. Right.
I think he's pissed because his matches keep turning out shitty, and it's not his fault. Like I said, I wouldn't even put the fault on the other guys that he's worked with, except maybe Shawn. Maybe Shawn Michaels shouldn't have been back in a match. I just don't think he has the conditioning to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But with this match, both guys were healthy. They were ready to go.
They were in really good shape too.
And then Goldberg knocked himself out. I'm not going to hold this against them.
If you look at it, the first 2 minutes, I saw the old Goldberg, because those first 2 spears were actually really good.
Yeah.
And then going back to the ring post, I think right after that is when you see everything just take a complete 180. We go from really good match to, oh shit.
So yeah, I think Undertaker is upset that his matches keep turning out badly, but I don't think it's that he thinks... I think it's, stop calling me back if my matches are going to keep turning into this. Right. But it's more of a general disappointment. Yeah. Kamish, thoughts?
Oh, I can speak now?
Yeah.
Sean's not going to interrupt me?
No promises.
Mad at me for what I say?
No promises.
No, fuck that. I'm sorry. This was horrible. From beginning to end. And I can agree with the Undertaker's anger and frustration with this, because honestly, let's be real, like, you should know, one, you're going in there with the Undertaker. 2, you're Bill freaking Goldberg. Everyone knows who you are. I get it. You knocked yourself... You didn't knock yourself out. You just knocked yourself into a bad concussion and a really bad gash on your head. Cool. But come on. Like, you should know that you're going to go up against a 300-plus pound guy who's done this just as long as you have. Honestly, like, I think Goldberg didn't prepare as well as he should have. He looked good. Don't get me wrong. He just wasn't prepared for this. And on top of that, I can agree with the fact that Undertaker's probably mad because, 1, stop bringing me back. 2, give me someone that's going to actually work well with me. Like, when it was him and Triple H for the quote-unquote last time, even though it wasn't, that was a solid match. I mean, granted how it happened, but it was still a solid match. My problem is, why do we keep bringing The Undertaker back out of the United States? What, we can't bring him back in a pay-per-view in America?
I mean, it's because of the Saudi prince. He's specifically requesting him.
I get that, but, like, have you seen... Okay, both matches that he's had recently, both in Saudi Arabia, and before that, Australia.
Which match was the Australia one? Was that the
Triple H?
That was just Triple H?
Yeah.
Okay. That one wasn't bad,
right? That one was good.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, it's a good match. You still have someone that was able to perform. Why can't we get The Undertaker back in America?
Well, I'm going to argue that, and they might for a big pay-per-view. I just don't think they're going to bring him back for, like, a stomping grounds.
No, of course not.
But I don't, like, I would be okay seeing this match again. Because I don't think it'll play out this way if it happens again.
I think it was just circumstance,
Yeah.
really. Like, I get it, because none of these guys look like that they're about to, like,
Goldberg is what, 49, 50?
He's hit 50 for sure.
Yeah, so he's 50, but he's still in hella good shape for a 50-year-old man.
And he looks like he can go. He's not beaten down. He's not like... I wouldn't put a Bret Hart back into the ring and go, okay, Bret, go have a 15, 20-minute classic. But a Goldberg, I'm like, no, this guy could still go. And if it wasn't for that ring post, I'm thinking we would have still had a really good match.
And coming from Stage Combat, I know all it takes is 1 second of inattention to screw something up. And that's all this was I think he either looked away or he misgauged how close he was to this ring post as he came running in and just hit it. It's one mistake that unfortunately domino affected the rest of the match. But if you were to put...
52 years old, by the way.
Okay. But if you put these two in another match after Goldberg heals up from whatever brain trauma he may have just induced upon himself, I think it'll be a different story. I think we would get a good match out of these two. Do you have any retort? Kamish.
Oh, I thought Shot was gonna take over.
I feel like you're taking shots.
I'm not taking shots. I legitimately thought he was gonna speak.
Well, with that said, you can catch NXT TakeOver only on the WWE Network for a non-negotiable, very reasonable price of only $9.99.
$9.99?
It's not $10.
We're not doing this.
We already did, and I botched it, so...
So, I was just gonna say, if you even want, you can even play this into a story where Goldberg comes out and goes, I let all my fans down. I was trying to give everybody a really good, memorable match, and I didn't. What do you say, let's do this one more time? And then you can kind of build it up from there.
You could do this at SummerSlam.
I was gonna say, it doesn't even have to be main event, even though it most likely is, but you do it at a SummerSlam. That's it. Just keep away from that spear into the ring post spot. Don't do that.
Or put pillows. Let's just tape some pillows to the ring
post.
Or
just take the cushion ring from the Performance Center and put that there and go, okay, now perform.
I hear that's cushy.
Get it?
What is happening right now?
We're brainstorming.
Go ahead, Kamish.
You're brainstorming for his extra safety.
Can never be too safe.
Yeah, with a messed up jackhammer and a messed up tombstone.
We're going to see The Undertaker versus Goldberg in a bubble wrap match.
I'm okay with that.
What?
I'm okay with that.
I'm just saying, after all these years of people saying Goldberg needs to get more moves, he finally pulls out a brain buster, so...
On a quick side note, speaking of bubble wrap, do you guys remember the bubble wrap bikini on Miss Kitty back in the day?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good times. Anyway, what were we saying?
Jerry Lawler, ladies and gentlemen.
Puppies!
No, yeah, okay. Would you... I guess I'm taking a survey here.
Hey, yo.
What the hell?
You're not here. I didn't know if you heard him or were preparing.
I did hear him.
Then we'll do the spot again. Hold on. I wasn't going to leave him hanging if you missed it. Anyway.
I was under the assumption because these pauses have been getting longer and longer, so I was assuming...
That's the point.
Let's do the spot again. Take it away, the shunt. Go.
I guess I'm taking a survey here. Hey, yo.
He ruined that on purpose. Now he's being
Okay, let me make it up to you. Here.
This entire thing is going to be... This entire thing is going to be on the podcast, by the way, apparently.
Okay, I guess I'm taking a survey here.
Hey, yo.
Okay. There it is.
Didn't know if you were dead or alive.
No, I was all in.
I forgot my question.
See, that's what happens when we have to redo a spot 3 times.
Okay, in your guys' honestly, would you guys be okay with Undertaker and Goldberg righting a wrong and doing this match one more time.
Yes.
Yes.
Because a lot of people will argue, no, it's their age, they already got hurt, let's leave it behind, let's stop calling them. I personally, this is one of those situations where I feel like if the circumstance is presented, Goldberg and Undertaker can prove everybody wrong by saying, see, we can give you a good match. It's just the first time, like you said, Dan, it was circumstance.
Yeah. And this isn't like I would, if going off of that, it's their age, I would be more inclined to say that about the match, the tag team match, Kane, Undertaker, and Triple H and
that
Shawn.
Was bad.
For a couple of reasons. First of all, like I said, Shawn probably shouldn't have been back in the ring. Second, Triple H tore a fucking muscle.
2, I think.
Did he?
An arm and a leg? Didn't he tear his leg?
I don't think
too?
he tore a leg.
Okay.
No, it was just his arm.
Yeah, his pectoral muscle tore off and was just kind of hanging in his chest.
Hey, how's it hanging?
A little to the right. But the fact of the matter is, like, that is an age thing. Okay, so your cells are breaking down. Your muscles can't hold up. Not I headbutted a stiff piece of metal. That's different.
And the only reason why I brought up the headbutting of the thing is that I think Goldberg gave, like, that ring post a reason to like, easily, get that blood flowing because, like I said, there was a dot
He
on
bladed himself with the door.
With the door. And then when he kept crashing the ring post, it was like, oh, okay. That thing just gushes out. But, Kamish, your response, would you be...
You really think that's the reason?
What?
You're really trying to sell me on this whole door and ring post.
No, I'm just saying that the door gave the ring post a much more easier way of opening up Goldberg because his forehead was kind of already busted open before even the ring post spot happened.
I'm pretty sure if you never did the door, you would have busted open the ring post.
No, he still would have,
Probably.
but I'm just saying that with him headbutting the door, it became a lot more easier for that blood to flow.
Maybe the door and the ring post are in a relationship, so the ring post was mad, and so he took it out on Goldberg for headbutting it.
The only problem is that they didn't tell Goldberg post-match.
They didn't tell him pre-match either.
You get it? You get it? Because, like, the ring post and then, like, post, like, after, like, the word for after.
But anyway, let's just leave the door open for the rematch.
Oh, my God.
And let's keep the action in the ring.
Post.
I hate you two so much right now.
Hey, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Ring.
Ring who?
Ring post. You get it? You get it? Because, like, he crashes to the ring post.
Please stop.
And it was a knock-knock joke like a door.
Please stop.
With no headbutt like Stevie Richards. What?
Jesus.
Yes, ma'am. I would be open for Goldberg Undertaker too. Yes, I would. As long as it's done with build-up. What?
You said I'd be open? Like a door?
I'm hanging up.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, God.
All right. So, anyway, we're all in agreement that this match could probably happen again to erase the bad taste in our mouth about this match.
Well, Kamish, go ahead and give your response. I feel like it kept on getting cut off. In all honesty, go ahead.
No, you're gonna make it a gimmick or a
No, all promises. AWP honor, I won't.
You just said AEWP.
No, I said AWP.
There was a car driving by. You might have heard that, too.
Yeah.
You're a car.
You know what cars have?
See, this is why I can't do this.
I didn't say anything. I said, go ahead, AWP honor.
I was going to say engines, but go on. Are you going to react?
Would you want to see Undertaker and Goldberg rectified part 2? Go.
That's it. I had a good point. You guys kept making the joke. I'm done. Just fix the match.
All right. Well, I guess you heard it here, folks. Just fix the match. Heyo. I don't know. Do we have any other thoughts on the show as a collective?
Stop going to Saudi Arabia.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Well, then the old man needs to really just be put in a home.
Tell us how you really feel.
I just said it. He needs to be put in a home.
Oh.
He's ruining the product. He's making me want to not watch the
old
why
man.
are
He's talking about
Raws and
Vince.
SmackDowns being so
What did you
boring?
think
I thought he said put the old men in a home, referring to old wrestlers. So that's my bad.
Oh.
Why am I talking?
We were listening. Granted, I don't know if the recorder could hear.
Just put the old man in a home.
You heard it here, Vince. Go to a home. And just stay there.
Or go home.
See, when you say home, he's going to think you're talking about gorilla position, which is where he usually is.
No, go to a retirement home. Go back to that $1 million home in Connecticut or wherever you live now or whatever it is that makes you happy. Just stay away from the product.
Hey, you know what his home has?
The WWE Network for a non-negotiable but very reasonable price of only $9.99. Is that where you were
I'm sure
going?
he gets it for free. Is that what you're going to say, Dave?
Hey, in all fairness, I think at his home he doesn't have ring posts, but he has pillars.
Which you could also bust your head open if you headbutt them. But anyway, let's bring it home, boys. Let's bring it home.
Let's bring it home and close the door.
God damn it.
We're putting this door over big time.
Pretty soon we're going to see it main event WrestleMania against
Door versus
Brock Lesnar.
Oh.
I was going to say door ring post.
Yeah, I was going to say door ring post too.
Oh, yeah, turn the ring post heel. I like it.
And in an ironic twist, if you want to do a rematch, let's just put something on the line.
How about Goldberg on a pole match?
Ooh, with Moppy as the special referee.
How about Goldberg on top over the ring in a ladder match?
How's it? Hey, get it? How's it hanging, Goldberg? Get it? Because he's hanging, like, above the ring.
Where is this episode gone?
Off the rails.
Right out the door.
Off the top
Yeah.
rope.
You know what the ropes are connected to?
What?
The ring post.
Oh! We're gonna lose all of our listeners.
How did we get here?
I don't know.
All right, well, thank you everybody for listening. This was our review of what the hell was this called? Super Showdown
Yes.
2019.
Yes, thank you, Dan. And always remember, always in life, when one door closes, another one opens.
Son of a bitch.